they're wagging their finger. How dare you? But aren't they doing the same thing? Some of them with deals with trying to get law business for municipal legal work, using their state law to do that. I mean, I don't know if any of these people are free of corruption.
What came out of your conversation, or do I have to listen to the podcast?
You have to listen to the podcast and read the column at JohnCastNews.com. And
I'm sure it was innocent, him giving you a recipe for taffy apples and you giving him a recipe for beer can chicken, right? It was all friendly.
Well, let's put it this way: he did not appoint me to a state board.
Okay.
I didn't see.
Yeah.
This has been a year. I mean, I remember early in your show, Dan, you talked about the first time we met, and you were then at Northwestern, or I think just finishing up. You were also involved in journalism at the time, writing a really good blog or paper, whatever you want to call it.
Illinois Leader back in the day, right? Yeah.
I loved it. And there we could see the cut of Dan Proft's mind as it was developing and growing. I'm not trying to mock you for the roast. I wouldn't throw that on the roast. I'll get roasted for you later from Quinn and Amy and others. But it was how you explained it with Madigan running off his pro-life stance and then backing off Scott Willis and Janet Willis after we had that lunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. And so corruption is not just. I have to inform some of the journalists in this state. It's not just a stupid alderman begging for a greasy envelope full of $100 bills. That's your quid pro quo. If that's your understanding of quid pro quo, then you have no understanding of how things work here in the state or the city. It's not like that. If you talk to Mike Madigan about, as Danny Solis apparently did, Danny who loved the Asian girls at the massage parlor, according to other documents. If you talk like that in those circles, people just walk away and step away. The corruption here is all understood. It's understood in terms of leverage and influence. And it proceeds. It's been going like this since before Paul Rita decided that a horse farm in the northwest suburbs would make a good airport called O'Hare.
John, can we hold you over past the news? Continue this?
Yes, I'm sorry I'm rambling.
No, you're not at all. But we're just up against the clock. We're gonna hold John Cass over, continue the conversation, and then take your calls while we got John as well, so all three of us can field questions and discuss this in addition to our caller. So if you have a question for Cass, give us a call, 312-642-5600 as well. And we'll continue this conversation about the Madigan indictment and the larger Illinois political culture at 7:37.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Without further ado, here is Mike Scott.
29 degrees, 7:29 is our time on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan facing a federal racketeering and bribery charges. The long-awaited charges punctuate the stunning downfall for Madigan. He served in the State House from 1971 until his resignation last year. Governor J.B. Pritzker says the allegations against Madigan are deplorable and a violation of the public trust.
I have heard accusations over time, as you know, and as you just acknowledged. I have kept my distance. And very importantly, I really have believed, and you've heard me say it over and over again, push legislation. that we have got to root out these people in public office if they have committed acts of corruption.
House Minority Leader Tim Durkin criticized Democrats for blocking subpoenas back during the early part of an investigation in 2020.
This is not just an indictment against Michael Madigan, but it's an indictment against the Democrat Party of Illinois that he ran for decades.
Madigan faces 22 counts, which could come up with up to 20 years in prison. He turns 80 next month. This morning, the Russian invasion of Ukraine enters its second week, marked by what appears to be a tactical failure, at least temporarily. Reporter Cal Perry has the 40-mile-long military convoy that is stalled just miles from Ukraine's capital in sight.
The idea of civilians picking up weapons and defending their city is an honorable idea. They're fighting for their homes. They're fighting for their survival. They're fighting for their country, and that's what the president has laid out. But the reality is, it's civilians who are going to die.
The main Russian assault force has been stalled for days on that highway north of the capital city of Kyiv. Over 1 million now have fled Ukraine to escape the Russian invasion.
Biggest priority, we have talked to so many refugees, and when we ask them, what do you need most, what do you want most, the answer is always, Dodon means home, we want to go home.
The UN High Commissioner for Refugees. Ukrainian refugees are crossing the border in the neighboring countries like Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, and Romania. CPS CEO Pedro Martinez says the Chicago Public Schools could finally drop its mask mandate soon.
We're seeing cases at a record low. We're seeing people feeling safer. So even though we'll continue to strongly encourage masking, we are moving in this direction to go after it.
CBS CEO Martinez telling principals this week the move could come in the very near future. A 16-year-old boy recovering following a shooting on the south side. Teen was shot in the street yesterday in the 1100 block of West 59. Nearly 90% of car thieves in Milwaukee get away with it. The latest numbers from Milwaukee police show that in just 11% of Milwaukee stolen car cases last year, there was an arrest. Just 5% ended with charges fired. Milwaukee saw more than 10,500 cars stolen in the city last year. That's more than Chicago saw in 2020. Bulls wrap up their brief two-game road swing tonight in Atlanta. Blackhawks skate against Edmonton. Colleges fighting Illini host Penn State in Champaign tonight. Notre Dame lost to Florida State last night. DePaul was a winner over Marquette, 91-80. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hope on the horizon.